Hey y'all, this is Alex again from Potato Square. This is going to be our third video. Today we're going to be covering Swordsman, melee infantry, as another would refer to it. Now I'm going to be playing as Rome today to exemplify them because they have the most swordsmen and they have the best example of them. But some of the tactics that you'll see the swordsmen using are only found amongst these swordsmen that belong to Rome. So it might be different for other swordsmen you might use in other armies. Just quick notification for you guys. So yeah, let's just hop right into it. It's going to be a pretty quick video. There's not a whole lot to swordsmen, not as much as like for spearmen, for instance, with the exceptionally long video we made. I'm going to just show you here Hastati. Hastati are what you start out with in Rome and will generally be your main fighting force if you play as Rome until you unlock Legionnaires. But you start out with Hastati, so I figure I might as well start out with them as well. They're heavy melee infantry. Basically, melee infantry, well, let me rephrase. It works kind of in a cycle of who will win between melee, spear, and cavalry. Melee infantry will beat spear infantry. Cavalry will beat melee infantry. And spearmen beat cavalry. It's a triangle. Rock, paper, scissors, same idea. And now this might not always be true. It's not always written in stone, but just as a general rule, that's how it goes. So just to lay that out there. So I'm going to go ahead and exemplify that with some spearman action if my friend here can bring forth his spearman. Oh, also, I forgot to mention, swordsmen generally have ammo. They generally have some amount of stuff to fire, just ammunition. In the case of Hastati, it'd be Pila, but that's a very Roman name, and Romans have their own stuff that are not seen in any other faction, so I just want to, again, state that announcement right there. Alright, so his forces are coming forward. I'm just going to cover real quick the formations. So Roman swordsmen, specifically Hastati, have some really cool functions in that they, well, I already covered they can fire Pila, but also they have something called loose spacing. Now, it doesn't do anything as far as combat, like, it doesn't give you a combat bonus, but what it does is that it makes them hard to kill in archer fire. And so before he hits us with the spearman, I want to go ahead and show that off. I'm going to have him use his Libyan javelin men to try to fire on. But with my loose spacing, it makes it very hard for me to be shot.
At speed! Quick march!
I just want to exemplify that real quick. You can see with the loose spacing how much bigger the formation is. Like all the units spread out. It means that they can't be clumped together when they're fired upon. It makes it a lot harder to kill units. They're spread out almost like they're being addressed in a command setting. Like if you've ever seen some war movies, how the general rides in front of the men and says some inspiring speech, it kind of looks like they're set up for that. Anyway, enough rambling from me. We got some Libyan javelin men moving in. We chose Carthage as the enemy faction because Rome often fights Carthage at the beginning of the game. Well, not maybe right at the beginning, but near the beginning because of, Punic Wars, if you've done your research. So we're just going to show off how when they're spread out like they are, they take quite a lot less damage from firing. Like, these guys are taking sustained fire from multiple units, and they've only just lost 10 men. So it's quite effective in negating the effects of archer fire. Like archer fire like this normally would just destroy a unit, whereas this unit is surviving quite well. I'm just going to go ahead and let them either run out of ammo or let this unit die. And when that happens, then I'll
The men are wavering.
let the archers have their deal.
Withdraw!
Oh, and there's also another way to protect yourself against missiles, and I'm going to show you that here in a second. If he could stop firing for a minute, I want to show him. I want to show another way to prevent getting fired upon by missiles.
Double time! And
All right,
speed!
so the other formation I've got here is called an attacking testudo, which does basically the polar opposite of the other formation I mentioned, where they line up shields on the top and on the front, and it basically makes them next to invulnerable to archer fire. So I'm just going to go ahead and show that off really quick. I'll go ahead and let him fire his worst at this force and watch as they literally have lost no men yet. Alright, 1 man currently from 3 volleys. Loose spacing is good for if you want to keep moving and not be held up by archers, because attacking testudo, it limits your speed when you're in this formation. Although it makes you nearly invulnerable to archer fire, it does limit speed. So you want to be careful about that. So yeah, I think I made my point here. I'm just going to wait for their archers to run out of ammo. And while they are, I'm going to talk about why I have 2 spearmen here. Alright, this is specifically for Rome, but I thought it might be good to know, is that Triarii are a unit you will start out with as a general, but they're very useful as far as spearmen go. They're the best spearmen that you'll be able to get as Rome. But they have a secondary use that makes them much more valuable. As you research in military technology, you, like with the peltis becoming light peltis, if you watch that video when I was talking about archers, these spearmen actually become legionnaires. Like, you retrain them and they become legionnaires. And then you just train legionnaires instead of Triarii. So as effective as Triarii are, legionnaires are better and they're more effective. They have the exact same abilities as Hastati, only they're far better units in general. And I recommend them highly. Yeah, but as you can see, the archers have run out of ammo or are now engaging in melee combat. I'm going to actually go ahead and pull these guys out of their archer. Just let them fully engage. Yeah, so as far as like defensive formations go, swordsmen are not that great. I mean, in general, they don't have that many defensive capabilities, but they're a lot better at offensive attack, and they're faster than spearmen, which is a very good thing to have. Maybe not archer fast, but still, nonetheless. Alright, and once this battle finishes, I'm going to go ahead and... Once this battle finishes with the archers real quick, I'm going to exemplify how the legionnaires are really good. Oh, I forgot. Before I do that, I just want to show off the Triarii real quick because they're a special unit. They have a Roman-specific tactic called defensive testudo. It protects against missiles and it helps brace, but they cannot move. It's kind of like square formation, a little bit. Only a more improved version, and I just wanted to show that off real quick before we move into Legionnaires. Yeah, I just went ahead and sent those Hastati after the archer unit. You can actually see them in the distance firing their Pila, which is that initial volley they send as they're moving in. Alright, I'm going to let these Triarii line up in front of these spearmen and then put them into a defensive testudo to show you how that works. And then I'm going to let them go and attack. Go ahead and attack. Yeah, so these guys are what's called a defensive testudo. You can see the spears are out in the front. And you can see they didn't even like get pushed back at all when engaged.
Spear infantry at your command!
And besides the defensive testudo, which is like the improved version of the square, they can also do the traditional square. But I mean, as far as defense goes, I don't see the point.
Yes,
I would
Commander.
prefer using the
Double time.
defensive testudo personally. But I mean, if you really like the square formation, by all means.
Advance.
Oh, okay. So you've seen that, and now I'm going to show off the Legionnaires here.
Quick march. At the double.
I'm going to move them past this fighting, and I'm going to attack his spear wall here of late Libyan hoplites, just to show off how effective Legionnaires are. Because you've seen like hoplite formation in my earlier videos. If you watch them, these are hoplites, so they can do the hoplite wall. And I'm going to pit these Legionnaires against it to show you how effective they are.
Quick march. Feet forward.
No formations or anything, because really the Legionnaires don't have any preparatory formations.
Orders.
They basically just attack. I mean, I could put them in attacking testudo, but that would just take away from the impact. You can see them already throwing Pila to soften the defenses before hitting. Not that it did very much, but hey. You can see these late Libyan hoplites are dropping already. Comparatively, the Legionnaires have lost no men at all yet. And this is with the hoplites in the hoplite wall, like completely in formation. And me charging their formation without having any abilities activated.
Legionaries.
You can see here my friend is moving pikemen into their side.
Glory advance.
Now, as with all units, Legionnaires are not invulnerable. They are vulnerable to attack from pikemen, because pikemen are pretty much invincible against most everything from the front.
Legionaries. Break forward.
But the problem with what he's done here is that he's left himself open to flanking, and his men are starting to lose. And I actually haven't lost a single man in my Legionnaires yet. Surprisingly, I actually thought I would. No, I lost 5 men. 8 men now. They're starting to drop a little bit. Oh, but now he's screwed because he put his pikemen right in the middle of the formation, and my men are disrupting the formation.
Melee troops awaiting orders. Double time.
Yeah, so now his African pikemen are dropping, just to show that when the pikemen are not forward facing against their enemy, they're very weak, no matter how heavy it says they are. Pikemen, no matter how good they are, I wouldn't get cocky and try to charge them in just alone if they have a chance to get flanked. Just as a general rule. Yeah, so that about covers it. I made all the major points I wanted to make.
Your orders.
Yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was enlightening about what swordsmen are useful for. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to like, favorite, subscribe. And we're running a survey, as I've been talking about, to see what we can do to improve. So if you have any improvement suggestions on how we can make our videos just that much better for you guys, please fill out that survey. And this goes for both technical and content. But if you could specify between the two, that'd be great, because we're not just doing this for our health. There's a non-related reason that we're doing this as well. So any feedback you give would be very much appreciated. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Alex, and enjoy your day.